All right. Hey everyone. Thought I'd post another video. When I'm recording this, 4th of July just happened and made me kind of think it might be a good opportunity to try and use some songs to illustrate some grammar. And the one that I was thinking of was the Samoan national anthem. I think technically the Samoan Independence Day actually was probably in June or something, so we've missed that. But anyway, for a while now, I've been thinking of all the different grammar lessons we've done. It might be better to make sure that we have some place to apply them. And like I mentioned before, songs is actually a good place to do that. So I wanted to kind of introduce why I think that is. We'll go over the national anthem and then kind of break it down from grammar. And hopefully, if I do it right, I'll reference some previous videos that kind of show where you can kind of get more in depth on that grammar if you want to look into it. But more importantly, hopefully, it'll just give you a chance to kind of see it in action. So basically, why is using songs to learn language? Why do I think that that's valuable? So in some cases, depending on where you're coming from. So if you're just kind of a regular sort of whatever white guy like me, you probably didn't grow up singing or hearing Samoan songs, and so this first point is not going to be all that valuable to you. But if you grew up in a Samoan speaking home and just didn't happen to speak Samoan yourself, or didn't actually feel really fluent in it, you probably do know these songs. You could actually probably sing them. You've heard them before, so you understand their context. You could probably say them. And even if you weren't in that situation, learning songs is actually sometimes a lot easier than memorizing sort of a paragraph or something. And so in singing that songs, you actually are starting to develop your own sort of fluent pronunciation of words, but also probably more importantly, more of that fluency in between words. Because again, having that practice of putting those words together, having them kind of come out of your mouth, and just kind of practicing sort of that flow is actually really, really helpful when it comes to gaining fluency in a language, in my opinion. And it also helps you illustrate these grammar constructs that are kind of out there. They're a little bit sometimes, I don't know if you want to call them ethereal or something, but it helps you see where they actually come into place, and how you actually have maybe been exposed to them all along, and now you actually see them in context and you think like, oh, now I get it. Oh, I am hearing that quite a bit. Or, oh, I do see that quite a bit. Now I know what he's talking about. So that's my hope. And for a while now, I've been thinking that we can probably do, let me know if this is helpful to you guys. Hit a thumbs or a likes up or whatever. Hit a thumbs up, like or subscribe, whatever it is, if this is something that you think is helpful. All right, so the Samoan national anthem, I've got the lyrics here written down. I will sing it. I don't think it's going to be great. You can definitely YouTube other people and see how it's sung properly. I'll do my best. But anyway, so I'll try and do that quickly. Hopefully it doesn't sound bad. And then we'll do the grammar breakdown on the next slide. So I guess, and what I'll try and do is I'll do the highlighter just to kind of help you follow along in terms of where I'm at in the song. And then again, like I said, the next slide will be better. So if you just want to fast forward over the next minute, I'd understand. Okay. Samoa, whoops. Give me 1 second here. Samoa tulai masisi ia laufua lopalelea. Samoa tulai masisi ia laufua lopalelea. Va'ai ina fetu oloa angiangiai le fa'ilonga lea o Yesu na maliu mo Samoa o Samoa e umau laupule ia fa'avavao aua e te fefe o le atua la tawhawai malota sa olotonga Samoa tulai wa angiangia laufua lopalelea. Okay, so yeah, some of that I didn't really sing well, and I don't know if I was singing the harmony or the melody, but either way, you get the idea. You can YouTube somebody else. But for many of you, hopefully that was a familiar song. So when we look at the grammar, I thought it'd be useful to break down the certain phrases. So I'll try and do that here. So the first line, and I'll try and make highlights as we go. That first line, Samoa tulai masisi ia laufua lo palelea. Couple things to point out. Obviously, Samoa is just, we're talking to Samoa. Tulai is a Samoan kind of command form for stand up. It's derived from the root word of tu, which means to stand in Samoa. Ma is and, so that's a conjunction. Sisi ia. Sisi is to hoist or to raise up. Ia is, I haven't covered this in a previous video, but ia comes after verbs, and it really conveys a sense of urgency to that verb. So in this case, we're saying tulai masisi ia. It means kind of like raise that flag up right away, or raise it up right away. And then laufua. Laufua means your flag, but what I want to point out is the possessive pronoun here, lau. There's a video I've done on possessive pronouns, but here you'll notice that we're using the alienable form of that possessive pronoun. And that's because a flag is not something that is on your body or is part of your body. In other words, it is alienable. It can be removed from you, pretty easily. It's not in the shape of your body or anything like that. And what is good is it contrasts with the next line, which is lo palelea. Lo pale is your crown. And here they're saying your again, but notice that it's not lao, it's lo. And the reason they're using lo is because pale is a crown, and a crown is something you wear on your head, in other words, on your body. And so they're using the inalienable form. And again, alienable and inalienable, it's really just switching the A's for O's. But I just wanted to show that side by side, this is how it's used. And it's describing the relationship that the noun has with the speaker, or with, sorry, not with the speaker necessarily, but with the person that's owning it. And then lea here is a demonstrative, meaning it kind of means that or this. And in this case, it comes after the noun. So Samoa tulai masisi ia laufua lo palelea. Samoa, stand up and raise your flag right away. That's your crown there. That's kind of what this translates to. All right, so we'll erase that. Let's see, moving on. Va'ai ina fetu. So we'll take that phrase first. Va'ai is the Samoan verb for to see or to look. And notice we've got this letter I coming after that. That's basically like a prepositional marker. It kind of means to, which we wouldn't normally say in English. But that's because in Samoan, va'ai is an intransitive verb. And so we actually have to connect that verb to the object by using that prepositional I. So va'ai ina fetu kind of means look to those stars. And again, na, we'll kind of break that down. Na is another demonstrative. It means those. So because there's multiple stars on the flag, not just one, we're saying na. If it was one star, we would say le na fetu. But since there's multiple stars, we're saying na fetu. And again, fetu is just the noun for stars. Next phrase. This one's a little confusing. I'm not going to be able to explain this completely. But we actually have two tense markers pushed together. I've never seen that anywhere else, or to my knowledge, not have heard of it anywhere else. But in this case, it's two present tense markers. One's the present progressive, which is olo, and then the other one is the present perfective, which is ua. And I'm not sure why we do that, but anyway, these are tense markers. One by itself would have been easy for me to explain. Two of them pushed together, I don't know why, but either way, we're putting that right before the verb angiangia. Angiangia is to wave, and it actually comes from the word angi. And angi is like the verb for to blow, like when the wind blows or when the storm kind of blows, we say angi, like wa angi mailefa. The hurricane or the storm is really blowing here. And angiangia is just for something to be flapping in the wind. And then we've got this sort of AI, letters A and I pushed together. This, I'm going to call it particle I. And what this is, it's actually kind of like a pronoun. I've not done a video on this, but it's actually referring back to the flag. So it's saying, Olo wa angiangia I. Well, if we didn't have I there, we actually don't have a noun. We just sort of have, the word is waving, and that's all kind of it's saying. And so I is referring back to the flag that we talked about before, or the stars on the flag before. It's saying that it's basically the stars, the na fetu in the previous clause is our antecedent that is being referenced by the particle I. It's kind of complicated. I probably should do a video on it, but I just wanted to show that you actually hear I being said after a lot of verbs. And all you need to know is that what that's doing is that's referring back to a noun that was stated previously, or at least was inferred previously. All right, going down. Le fa'ilonga lea o Yesu na maliu. So le fa'ilonga, le is just the, fa'ilonga means the symbol. And this actually is an interesting word because we've got the prefix fa combined with ilo, which is a verb, which is actually the root word of the word iloa, which is to know. So ilo is also to be seen, or even to kind of be aware of or noticed. And then ga, nga, put at the end of a verb like that, makes it into a noun. So it's just a good example of Samoan being a modular language where you can combine prefixes and suffixes, and you can turn little words into bigger words. So in this case, we basically turn the word ilo, which is to notice, into the word symbol by putting fa, which is to make noticed, in front. So fa ilo would kind of be to make known or to make noticed, and then the ga makes it a noun. Anyway, hopefully that wasn't too deep or anything, but I thought it was a good example of that in practice. Lea, like before in the clause before or in the line before, just means, it's a demonstrative, just means there. O Yesu na maliu. Yesu is the Samoan word for Jesus. And then na maliu. Na is the past tense marker, and maliu is the honorific word for to die. So it's saying the symbol there that Jesus died, and then mo means for, and then Samoa, obviously Samoa. So all together what this line means is, look at those stars, again, the stars on the flag. The stars on the flag that are waving. The symbol there that Jesus died for Samoa, what it's referring to is the stars on the Samoan flag are in the shape of the Southern Cross, which again is, the cross is where Jesus died. So that's what it's referring to. All right, next line. Let's see here. Let's see here. Oi Samoa u'umau laupule yefa'amvau. Oi is just like the English word oh. It's just an expression of like, oh, you sometimes hear people say oi talofai, oh poor thing. So oi just means kind of oh. Samoa. Notice I'm not saying Samoa, I'm saying Samoa. I'm kind of mushing that letter E and the letter A at the end of Samoa together. When you're calling out to someone in Samoan, and you're like saying their name, you can kind of mush the letter E on the end of it, and that's kind of like the proper way to call someone. So if your name is Joseph, which is Josefa in Samoan, you would say Josefai. You wouldn't say Josefa. You would say Josefai. So that's what we're doing here. And then we've got the verb u. U is just to hold. And then we've got an adverb, which you actually hear a lot in spoken language, which is mau. Mau is an adverb that just means like very firm, hold fast, hold firm, something that's kind of immovable. So that's kind of what that means. Laupule yefa'vavau. So here we've got the possessive pronoun there, lau. Again, it's the alienable form. In front of pule, pule means authority or power. And then we've got ia, and this is an imperative marker. So this is a command. So it's basically what it translates to is your authority, let it be forever. You could have also said, if we're speaking this instead of singing it, you could say let your authority be forever, if that makes sense. So again, we've got there's videos before about commands or imperatives in Samoan that you can look up. All right, awa ete fefe. Awa is another command or imperative word. It means don't. So don't ete fefe. E is a descriptive pronoun for you, singular. Te is a tense marker, present tense. Fefe is the verb to fear. So it says, don't you fear. Oleatua. Oleatua means the god, or in English we just say God, but in Samoan you say o, which introduces nouns, le as in the, and then atua, so the god. Lota. Lota is a possessive pronoun for yours and mine. Fa'avai. Fa'avai in Samoan is the word for foundation, but it comes from the word vai, which is your leg, or your legs, and fa'avai is like, I guess it's to sort of make legged. It's how you can think of it. Again, it's another modular word in Samoan, but that's the word for foundation. Just in case you saw, oh, I've seen vai before. Well, fa'avai, it just makes it a little bit, you kind of illustrate the meaning a little bit more. All right, next line. Ma lo sa'olotonga. Ma is just the word for and. It's a conjunction. Lota, again, is that possessive pronoun for yours and mine together. Sa'olotonga. Sa'olotonga is freedom. So this again is another modular word. You notice that we've got the suffix ga, so we know it's a noun. Sa'oloto is a verb that means free, but you can even break that down a little bit further in that loto is the word for heart, or soul, whatever you want to call it. And then sa'o is like straight or correct. And I don't know, in my mind, I don't know exactly how that turns into freedom, but it's not too far off base, I don't think, to say that that's how we derive it. So sa'olotonga is freedom, sa'oloto is the verb for free, and it kind of builds up. So again, just to kind of show you again, Samoan's kind of like that modular sort of language. All right, last line, Samoa tulai wa'angiangia laufua lo palelea. So again, we've kind of broken this down before, but it just means Samoa, stand up, wa'angiangia. So we got the tense marker and then the verb, again, just one tense marker this time, so it's a little bit easier for me to explain. But that's the present perfective tense marker, meaning it has been waving, it continues to wave effectively. Laufua, so your flag is continuing to wave, which is also your crown. Lo palelea. Anyway, that's kind of the breakdown. Hopefully that was kind of helpful. Let me know, because I can post more of these. Like to me, I feel like this is a good way to kind of see grammar in action. Let me know if it helps you out or not by liking, subscribing, etc. Anyway, hope that was helpful. Thanks, everyone. Bye.